What up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Matt Wyatt. I know I've been behind on my YouTube channel lately. I've been taking a break for a while. I wanted to clear my mind and I wanted to catch up on other shows that I missed out, like for instance, Succession. And I've been watching Percy Jackson's show, which so far I'm enjoying. And I've been catching up on other games that I've missed. And I know I've been a little bit behind, but I'm trying my best to catch up. And hopefully I can check out some of the latest movies that have came out earlier this year. But for this video, this is gonna be another different video that I normally don't do. I'm going to cover some of the Oscar nominations that I'm excited to get into, and I'm going to tell you which one who I think deserves to win. Now, I'll be honest with you straight up front. I haven't seen all those movies. I'm going to do my best to catch up as many movies as I can before the Oscars comes around the corner. But I'm going to give you my official opinion on which one do I think deserves to win, or what do I think deserves to get bumped out and get replaced. But you know what? I'm going to get into the first nomination, and this is going to be the Best Supporting Actor nomination. The Best Supporting Actor nomination is Sterling K. Brown from American Fiction, Robert Downey Jr. from Oppenheimer, Robert De Niro from Killers of the Flower Moon, Ryan Gosling, Barbie, Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. This is a strong choice of a list that I completely agree that deserves to get that picked for the nomination. But Sterling K. Brown from American Fiction, this is one of those films that I have not watched yet. It's still playing in theaters. I might get around to it eventually. I think it might come out on VOD very soon, but I don't know. But I love Sterling K. Brown. I think he's a terrific actor, and he's a two-time Emmy Award winner from the hit show called This Is Us. He's a terrific actor, but I can't judge it from his performance because I have not seen American Fiction. Robert Downey Jr. was phenomenal, outstanding. I believe he won an award from the Golden Globes, and I don't know if he won for Critics' Choice. I'm probably gonna have to look into it. But this is Robert Downey Jr.'s year, because he come a long way from the MCU and getting away from being typecast, and for him to be in that Christopher Nolan movie and he stole the entire spotlight. I thought he was going to have less screen time in the movie, but he had a lot more screen time and he had a bigger part of the story, and I thought he was outstanding. Robert Downey Jr. just crushed it. Robert De Niro from Killers of the Flower Moon, I loved him in that movie. Do I think he should get the win? No. I think, look, it's Robert De Niro. He's an incredible actor, and I think he's great in that film, but I don't think he should get that win. Ryan Gosling, oh my God, it's Ryan Gosling. He stole the entire spotlight as Ken in Barbie. I was not gonna lie to you, I kind of rooted for his character a little bit more for different reasons, but I thought Ryan Gosling, from what he did in that performance and the way he developed the comedic tone and his musical performance called I'm Just Kin, which it was the standout of that film that people will still continue to talk about and make memes out of it. Mark Ruffalo from Poor Things, he's another MCU actor that is getting out of being typecast by being in this great film called Poor Things, and I thought he was fantastic. Overall, I think that this is a great year for Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. The two MCU actors that work together are now in an Oscar movie potential. But the one I think deserves to win, it's Robert Downey Jr., and I do believe he is going to take this win. This is definitely his year, and he's going to take that trophy. All right, the nomination for Best Original Screenplay: Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, May December, Maestro, and Past Lives. Yeah, these were the good, strong picks, but I'm not going to lie to you. I still have not seen Maestro from Bradley Cooper. I haven't seen Past Lives. Everybody raved about it, so I definitely need to check that movie. And Anatomy of the Fall. I'm really surprised by this list. I haven't seen Anatomy of the Fall. That's one of my movies I need to watch. May December, which a lot of people had mixed response. Some people loved it and some people were very mixed on it. But you got Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman in the movie together, and I think those two actresses were incredible. And I'm curious to check that film out. But The Holdovers, oh man, that would be my pick for best original screenplay. I think it deserves to get that win. I love the script. I love that the way they've written it. But the one movie that I think that has the two movies that I think that are going to have more chance of winning, it's going to be between Past Lives and Anatomy of the Fall. That's getting a lot more buzz than others, and it's going to be a two-horse race between these two films that are going to get the win for best original screenplay. All right, next up is the Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress are Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, American Ferrera, Barbie, Jodie Foster, Nyad, Divine Joy Rudolph, The Holdovers. Yeah, these were strong picks. I mean, here's the thing. I have not seen the latest film, The Color Purple, so I can't give my opinion on her performance for Daniel Brooks. And Emily Blunt, oh my God, she became one of the standouts of the film, and I loved her performance. I would love to see her win. And Jodie Foster, I have not seen Naiad, so I can't judge her performance in that movie, but I think she's an incredible actress. But Divine Joy Rudolph from The Holdovers, I said this before in my review, in my top, and my other video for my top 10 list of my favorite films of the year. Divine Joy Rudolph stole the spotlight in The Holdovers. She was the standout. I do believe she's going to get this win. And but I wouldn't be surprised if they pick American Ferrera from Barbie, even though I don't think her performance was Oscar worthy. I love American Ferrera in Barbie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trashing on her. I think, but in my opinion, I don't think her performance was Oscar level. But the one thing that the reason why that they wanted to pick her was because of the monologue she gave about what it means to be a woman, which I love the monologue. She did nail the monologue. I thought she did great, and I could see why that it got their attention and why they think they deserve on that list. But you know what? It doesn't matter what I think, and I think American Ferrera is going it did a great job in that movie, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pick her to win. But I have a big feeling that Divine Joy Rudolph is going to get that win for the Oscar, and I think she deserves it. She's fantastic. Okay, another nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay: American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Which these were strong picks. Like I said, I have not seen the Zone of Interest. I still have not watched American Fiction. A lot of people are telling me that I should, and I will get around to watching that because I've heard nothing but great things. But yeah, the one thing that really kind of bothered me is that I don't understand why Barbie's in this nomination for adapted screenplay because it wasn't based on anything. It was just an IP of a Barbie doll. But but I if I were to get them to do differently, they should have just bumped that into the switch it to best original screenplay. Even though I don't think this film is an Oscar level movie, but if I want them to do differently, I would have preferred them to put in the original screenplay. I thought it would have made more sense in my opinion. But you know what? It is what it is. But the one thing I will definitely pick is Oppenheimer. I think Oppenheimer is going to get that win, and I think it deserves to win. I still have to check out the Zone of Interest. That's another movie that I have not seen yet. And Poor Things, oh God, it was so good. It was such a great movie. And look, I did not read the novel from the movie Poor Things, so I can't compare the two of them. And I have not read the book from Oppenheimer. And I know it was based on the book, and I can't remember what the title of the book was called. I'll look into that later. But yeah, Oppenheimer is going to take that win for Best Adapted Screenplay. This is Oppenheimer's year. Now, next up, the Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. What Was I Made For from Barbie? I'm Just Kin. Barbie, another Barbie movie that's got nominated. It was never, it never went away from America's Symphony, The Fire Inside, Flaming Hot, A Song for My People, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, these were a few songs that I have not heard from other films because I have not seen it, especially with the movies called Flaming Hot or American Symphony. That those are the movies I have not seen and I have not heard the song. So if I were to pick, I'm gonna have to pick I'm Just Ken from Barbie. The way that Ryan Gosling performed and the song was so good. I loved it, and the choreography was so amazingly compelling, and I thought it was the most memorable song. And don't get me wrong, I love the song What Was I Made For? That was a touching and emotional song, and it was performed by Billie Eilish, which I have a feeling that she's going to take that win. She's going to steal the win from I'm Just Ken, and it's not the first time she won an Oscar. She won an Oscar for the movie called No Time to Die, the latest James Bond movie with Daniel Craig. So it wouldn't surprise me that she's most likely going to take that win. And I can't wait to see Ryan Gosling perform on stage. I hope he does. It wouldn't surprise me. I think Ryan Gosling is incredible, and can't wait to see him perform on stage. At least I hope he will. And the one thing I wish that they would have bumped out, I would have bumped out the song for my people from Killers of the Flower Moon and put the song Peaches from the Super Mario Brothers that Jack Black performed in the movie. I think that was a complete big snub, and I don't agree with the choice with the Killers of the Flower Moon. It's a good song, but I don't think it's one of the most memorable songs throughout the whole movie. So yeah, I would have put Peaches on there instead, but you know what? It is what it is. That's just my personal opinion. All right, another nomination for Best Cinematography. El Conde? Conde? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name, but the El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Yeah, these were a lot of strong choices for best cinematography. Killers of the Flower Moon, as much as I am not a big fan of the film, I don't think it's one of Scorsese's best work, but I definitely thought that the cinematography was one of the best parts of the movie, and I thought he crushed it, and I love the way that they shot it in an environment of location of the Osage environment. Love that the way they shot that in the town. The way the camera work and the angle was so beautiful. Maestro, I still have, like I said, I have not seen Maestro myself, so I can't give my opinion on the cinematography for Maestro. But Oppenheimer, yeah, Oppenheimer is definitely going to get the win for best cinematography. The cinematography that Christopher Nolan did was so incredible. The scale of the town of Los Alamos and the atomic testing during that scene of the movie was one of the most beautiful looking, visually stunning, and great camera work. That the way he did it and the way he shot it in IMAX film camera was breathtaking. So I have no doubt that that's going to get the win. And I love Poor Things. The cinematography was great. I love the way they shot it, especially when they shot it in the soundstage. But the way they did it visually was absolutely stunning. But the one thing that is definitely going to for sure get the win, it's Oppenheimer. This is Oppenheimer's year. Okay, the nomination for Best Actor: Bradley Cooper, Maestro; Coleman Domenico. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his last name. Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers; Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer; Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. Yeah, these were the strong picks that I'm not surprised that is in this category. I still have not seen Rustin, so I can't judge on his performance. I love Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer. This is the best performance he's given in his entire career. Jeffrey Wright, look, I love Jeffrey Wright in any movie he's in. I still have not seen American Fiction, so I can't judge his performance in that movie itself. But I'm not surprised that he's got to get that pick, and I'm glad that he got in the nomination because he's great in anything. But and I have not seen Maestro, like I said before. I gotta see that and see his performance, and I think Bradley Cooper is an incredible actor. Paul Giamatti. I mean, god damn, Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers. He's a legend. He can be great in any movie he's in, and this is probably my favorite of his performance that he's given in his acting career. And this is going to become a horse race between Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer and Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. It's going to be a big two-horse race. There's still a chance that Paul Giamatti might take that win, but I have a feeling Cillian Murphy is going to take the win, and I think he should win. This is definitely Cillian Murphy's year as an actor. All right, the nomination for Best Animated Feature Film: The Boy and the Heron, Elemento, Pneumonia, Robot Dreams, and Across the Spider-Verse. Now, here are the two movies that I think they should bump out. Now, I can't say I have seen these two movies. I haven't seen Robot Dreams or Pneumonia. I would have bumped those two out and put the Super Mario Brothers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I think that those movies got overlooked, and I cannot believe that those two movies did not get the nomination for Best Animated Feature Film. I love Elemental. I've only seen it once, and I need to rewatch that film again. And I think the film was a very underrated film that came out this year for Pixar. So I'm not surprised that one of the Disney movies are going to get in that nomination eventually. But the one movie that I've been dying to see that I have not checked out was The Boy and the Heron. A lot of people said it was great. A lot of people said you got to rush out to see it. I think it's still playing in theaters, but if it drops on VOD, I'm definitely going to just purchase it and rent it and just check it out for myself. And look, if I might say it's one of my favorite animated films that came out this year. It might be my favorite animated movie that came out in 2023. I don't know. I'll find out until I see it. But the one movie that I think deserves to win is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I said this in my top 10 best films of the year. It's my favorite film that came out in 2023. I don't think it's going to have a chance of winning. I think that the one movie that will have more chance is The Boy and the Heron. A lot of people raved about it. It's gonna, and I think it won. It won the Golden Globe nomination, and I don't know if it won for the Critics' Choice. I'm gonna have to look that into it. But yeah, The Boy and the Heron, it's gonna be their year. Now, look, Into the Spider-Verse movie, the previous first movie, won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature Film. And look, I love the animation style and the visuals. They were so incredible to watch. But The Boy and the Heron's going to get that one. And look, and when I see it, I can see why. I like that. Then I would understand why this one's going to get that pick the most out of all of them. Now the nomination for Best Actress: Anity Benny Nayad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon; Sandra Huller, Enemy of the Fall; Kill, uh, Carey Mulligan from Maestro; Emma Stone from Poor Things. Yeah, these were a lot of strong picks. Like I said, I haven't seen Anatomy of the Fall. I can't judge on her performance, but there's still a chance that she could possibly win. Anthony Benny, I have not seen that yet, so I can't judge on that. So, but I love Lily Gladstone in the movie, but I don't agree that it should be in the category for Best Actress. Look, I understand that on paper, she is technically the co-leads with Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, but when you watch that film, it almost felt like she was more of a supporting character. She didn't really share that amount of screen time like the other two. Now, don't get me wrong, Lily Gladstone stole the entire spotlight when I see her in the film. She is definitely already becoming a mega star right now. She's already going to get offers from other films, and she's going to be involved. And I would not be surprised if they pick her to win. But the one I think it deserves to win is Emma Stone for Poor Things. This is definitely Emma Stone's year. The way she performed in Poor Things, she took a lot of risk than most actresses in this category than all of them, and she went raw. She did not held anything back, especially the sex scene. She did not. She didn't pull any punches, and Emma Stone is a terrific actress. And I still don't remember what film did she win for an Academy Award. I'm gonna have to look that into it later, but I think that this is Emma Stone's year. I still haven't seen Carey Mulligan in Maestro. I have to check out her performance, but it is going to be a two-horse race between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. But Emma Stone, I think she has a better chance of winning, and I think she deserves it. And I love Lily Gladstone. Don't get me wrong, but it's Emma Stone's year. Now the nomination for Best Directing. Justine Triad. I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm really terrible at pronouncing her name. Justine Triad from Anatomy of the Fall. Martin Scorsese from Killers of the Flower Moon. Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer. Uh, Yorgos Lanthimos. God, I cannot pronounce his name right. I'm so terrible at it. I apologize. But yeah, the director I'm talking about is the director of Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest. This is it is a strong pick. I still have not seen The Zone of Interest. I've said this a million times. Anatomy of the Fall, I still need to watch. Killers of the Flower Moon, I liked it, but I did not love it. I don't think it's Scorsese's best work, and I don't think he has a chance of winning. But the direction, Yorgos from Poor Things did a phenomenal job directing the film. I mean, he did it. I loved his direction, the way he did it in the visual storytelling, and the way he directed Emma Stone's performance was outstanding. But the one guy who's going to get the win is Christopher Nolan. He deserves it. This is going to be his year. He's going to take the trophy for his first time winning an Academy Award for Best Directing. Oh God, Christopher Nolan is an incredible director. Sure, he had a couple of misses in my opinion, but Oppenheimer really brought him back to what he's good at as a director. And I love the way he told the story with the J.R. Oppenheimer. Thought he did a phenomenal job. It gets better the more I watch that film. Now the one and only, the nomination for Best Picture, the one and only, the big finale event that's going to be saved for last at the Oscars. Okay, the nomination for Best Picture: American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Past Lives, Zone of Interest, The Holdovers, Maestro, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, these are a lot of strong picks. Like I said this before, The Zone of Interest, Anatomy of a Fall, and Maestro and Past Lives. Those are the four movies I need to watch. A lot of people are saying Past Lives is an incredible film and everybody's raving about it and people won't stop talking about it. And I will eventually check that out before the Oscars. But the films that I don't agree with that in this list is Barbie. It's like look, I'm not trashing the movie Barbie. I really like that film, but I don't think it's an Oscar level movie. But you know what? I'm not surprised that this is in the category. I would have bumped that out. I would have put in the Iron Claw instead. Now, look, I'm not surprised that Godzilla Minus One is not in the category for best nomination. I think look, I love Godzilla Minus One. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of the year, but it also felt like a war drama disguised as a blockbuster movie. Now you're asking, like, why would you want to put that in the best picture category? Like, it's a blockbuster movie. It's not an Oscar level film. Yeah, well, you could say that with Avatar: The Way of Water. You could say that with Top Gun: Maverick. Those are the two blockbuster movies that are not like technically Oscar caliber. It's one of the rare movies that really got a chance in that nomination for Best Picture, and it was a big surprise. I mean, I still think it should be in that category, but you know what? I'm not part of the Academy. It's not up to me. It doesn't matter what I want, and it doesn't matter what any of you guys want. No matter how much we bitch and complain about some of the choices that we don't agree with, at the end of the day, we got to respect their choices and just go and just simply let that shit go. I still need to check out American Fiction. That's another one of my most must watch list. But the one movie that I think deserves to win and think they should win is The Holdovers, because The Holdovers is such an incredible film. It's I was so moved by the three main characters. I love Dominic Sessa, Paul Giamatti, the Divine Joy Rudolph. I felt such a great human connection with the three of them, and the three dynamic were so golden, and the chemistry worked. It felt like A Christmas Story meets The Breakfast Club. And it's a movie that I watch over and over again. It's one of my comfort movies, but I'm not surprised that Oppenheimer is going to get the win for the Oscar. It has more chance out of all of them because I love Oppenheimer. It's in my top 10 favorite films of the year. And like I said before, this is nominated for 13 Oscars. This is going to sweep for the Oscars this year. And I believe that Oppenheimer has more chance of winning Best Picture out of all of them. And that's just my personal opinion, but I would have picked the holdovers in the category. And also, I would have take out Killers of the Flower Moon and put Across the Spider-Verse in that category instead. No, I'm not trying to trash on Killers of the Flower Moon, but I don't think it was like one of the best films that Martin Scorsese had made. I could see why people would pick it because a lot of people loved it and think it deserves to be an Oscar in an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. But for me personally, I don't think it deserves it. It's not a movie that I would watch over and over again. It was a movie that didn't really need to be as long, but it's still a solid movie. I liked it more than The Irishman. But overall, my big pick that I think deserves to win is The Holdovers. But if I were to bet my money on it, it's Oppenheimer. There's no doubt in my mind that Oppenheimer is going to take that win. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention in the nomination that I missed. Here in the nomination for Best Visual Effects, The Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Society of the Snow, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. They're no longer calling it Part One. They took that title off for Part One because the sequel to Dead Reckoning is going to have a different title. So I'm glad they took the Part One out of there. Then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think that this is one of the best strong picks, and I'm so happy that Godzilla Minus One got the nomination for Best Visual Effects. The visual effects on a $15 million budget is completely insane that they put money into the $15 million because did not feel like a $15 million movie. It felt like a lot more than that. And I think it is one of the best visual effects I've seen in a $15 million budget. Now, I will say that I don't think it should win for best visual effects because there were parts of the movie where you can tell that it had green screen and CGI at times, but we completely forgave that because it was made on $15 million. So it doesn't matter. It still looked incredible and it still holds up. In the movie, the creator with Gareth Edwards directing that film, I actually enjoyed it. I think it's one of the most underrated sci-fi film. Sure, it's not like one of the best original storylines to be told because it's very derivative to other sci-fi blockbuster movies that he crammed in, but actually I still think it enjoyed it and I thought the pros outweigh the cons. But that visual effects and that CGI, especially the humanoid robots, it didn't look like it was done in the CGI. It looked like it was done practical. But that's the beauty thing about visual effects is that you cannot tell that they're visual effects. You're supposed to believe that it's a photo. It looked so photorealistic, and it's supposed to make you believe that it looks real, and it's not noticeable, and it's not noticeable green screens. The way that he filmed that movie was so good. I think you should definitely check out The Creator if you haven't already. It's streaming now on Hulu. And I think this movie that people, and I'm surprised that not a lot of people didn't go out to go see it because it is still an original movie, not an original story or a concept, but it's still an original movie that I wish more people have gone out to support it. And Society of the Snow, I still have not seen yet. It's on Netflix, and I've heard nothing but great things, and I will check that movie out. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning was so visually it looked stunning, especially the car chase, Tom Cruise jumping off of the hill on the mountain on the bike, and also the train sequences. Holy shit, that train sequence, that was so influences from the Uncharted 2, the game where Nathan Drake was on the train. That felt so similar and they looked like they took notes from it. And I thought it was very well delivered. Seeing him jumping around on the train was absolutely crazy. Yeah, the visual effects for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I love the CGI, I love the visual effects, and I love James Gunn shooting doing a lot of practical stuff in the movie. But it's one of those movies where it's not completely perfection or photorealistic. It's one of those movies that it's a sci-fi fantasy space opera, and we kind of suspected that there's going to be a lot of CGI in the movie. Maybe there is a lot of practical, but it still has a lot of CGI that you kind of notice at times. But I still think it deserves in this category. But for visual effects, I cannot believe that Across the Spider-Verse did not get nominated for Best Visual Effects, or Oppenheimer. Those are the two one of the best visuals I've seen. Sure, the Oppenheimer didn't have any CGI in the movie, but visually, the way that he shot it, the way showed in the film with Oppenheimer explaining scientific stuff and seeing how he did the technique without using CGI, especially the atomic testing sequence. And the ending of the film, when Oppenheimer was an imagining of a nuclear annihilation, how done in this, how he did it was absolutely incredible. And I think it got snubbed. Those are the two films that I thought it got snubbed for the best visual effects. But the one category that I think it has more chance of winning is probably going to be between Godzilla minus one or The Creator. And I think The Creator should get the win. But that's just my opinion. I love Godzilla minus one, but The Creator is a big win when it comes to visual effects. It was perfection. Now, you've seen my opinion on the Oscar nomination, and what did you think of these nominations? Do you agree with those lists, or do you disagree with that list, or do you disagree with my picks of what I should think they should put in and what I think should take out and what I think should win or lose? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear it, and go and like this video and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos. I appreciate your guys' support. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from. If you want to follow my social media platforms, the link tree will be down in the description down below. I hope you guys have an incredible year for 2024. I'm excited to see these 2024 movies that I'm anticipating. You can go and check out my last video of my top 5 most anticipated films of 2024. Be sure to check that out. There will be more videos to come. I've just been very behind lately, and I will get around to catching up. So I hope you guys take care.